Alrighty, here we are. This is me. Shostakovich is on today. He needed some snuggles. It's cold and miserable outside. So the old man, this dude is 18 years old, and he gets to do what he wants. Isn't that right? So he is here today to join us in talking about our incoming money. So today is Thursday. Welcome, everybody. I'm so happy that you are here. I am delighted at all the people who watch this. I know a lot of you don't watch it live, but that's okay. It's all archived on YouTube, and it's super exciting to hear what you guys think about it. So feel free to DM me, ask questions. We're going to be going through this process for a long time. My children were just called out of school for the entire rest of the school year, so no Mabel I. Wilson School. Actually, nobody's going back to Mabel I. Wilson, so no Greeley Middle School for my kids until September. So that's what we're dealing with around here. I've had a migraine for 2 days. That's also fun, but I have enough Tylenol on board that I am feeling up to doing this. So anyway, I wanted to say welcome. Again, I'm Dr. Michelle Fainensteel. For those of you who are new, I know a lot of people are coming in to watch these, which is really pretty cool. If you think somebody would benefit from this, I would sure appreciate you sharing the lives or the YouTube video. I guess subscribe to the YouTube channel. I am gonna get to 100 subscribers, and you're gonna be the next one, right? So today we're talking about incoming money, and so here's what's interesting when you do marketing. I take a lot of marketing courses and that sort of thing, because I'm growing and scaling my business, and that's very important to me. It's important for me to go reach the people I want to reach. They talk about always be talking hell yes. Okay. And so I kind of want to make a note here. I am talking to the hell yes. I am talking to the folks on here who are all about understanding themselves and going out and making the difference in the world that the universe is calling them to make. And I understand that can be a very difficult journey. I get it. Having embarked on that journey myself, I totally understand it. I think it really would be easier having spent, it is easier to sit on the couch and watch Netflix. It is. I mean, it gets kind of boring. Though Orthodox was really good, or unorthodox, I guess. And being somebody who is and wants to be, not only who is, but who wants to be, whether you are or not, tuned into the internal dialogue, the internal conversation, however that occurs to you, is somebody who is willing to engage in the world, right? And if you're willing to engage in the world, your heart might get broken, right? And that can be really tough. It can be really challenging to think about going out, doing things, and getting our hearts broken. Because for a lot of us, we had ways of thinking about incoming money when we were kids. We thought about incoming money and how much money we were going to make and what we were going to do with it and all of that sort of stuff. And it turns out that they forgot to tell us that making what you want to make in the world to support yourself into the lifestyle to which you wish to become accustomed, or are accustomed, kind of, I guess, depending on where you are, requires getting your heart broken. And nobody ever told me that. Yeah, I was told if you work hard and do what you love, you will make money. I have to tell you, writing food safety plans and coaching is something I love doing, and I make plenty of money at it. It's amazing. I make a lot of money at it, and I want to make more because I see it as a reflection of the value I create in the world. Food is 25% of the world's GDP, as I'm sure y'all have heard me say. And it's one of those industries that, the world can go to hell in a handbasket, and you still need your farmer 3 times a day, right? And so it is the most recession-proof industry when it comes down to it. And but the thing is that when we look at incoming money and we look at the work that we are doing this week around telling ourselves the truth is that most of us trained to do something to create money in the world. And we made those choices because we thought we would be happy doing it, right? I mean, every single person I went to vet school with became a veterinarian because at some level they really thought they would be happy doing this, that they would be happy making this contribution, that they would be happy treating animals, large or small or exotic, or in my case, monkeys, right? And it turns out that the methodologies by which we create incoming money are important, but what's vastly more important is how we choose to think about ourselves with whatever methodology we chose to apply. Okay? And so what does that actually mean when we start telling ourselves the truth about the money? What it means is telling ourselves the truth. Let's just take student loan debt, okay? There are a ton of people and a lot of drama about student loan debt right now. I mean, I know there's like a debt forbearance or forgiveness program. I haven't really looked into it. I'm doing other government programs during the coronavirus. But what I do see is I see a lot of drama. Okay, I see a lot of drama because people have a lot of unresolved feelings about the money. Okay, now debt is all about outgoing money, and we're going to talk about that. But there was a feeling that you created at some point around what you were going to do for incoming money. Okay, and you created this feeling. Most of us at some point in our lives created this feeling on our own once, right? Created on our own. I mean, I started babysitting when I was 11, right? It's not even legal in Maine to babysit at 11 now, which is kind of crazy. But I had a thought that I liked kids. I really wanted money. It was a job that I could do and I could do well. And so I started babysitting, mother's helper kind of things. And so I had a thought that created a feeling, that created an action, that created a result of making money as a babysitter. And I was able to follow through on that through I don't know, basically until the last family I babysit for got a divorce. And I decided not to fill my babysitting calendar and do other things. I think high school sports were on tap by then. But I want you to go think about what your money-making history is, just as specific as you can make it. What was your first job? Did you get an allowance from your family? Did you do chores for an allowance? Did you essentially earn an allowance? Or were you just handed an allowance? How much? Did you get raises? That sort of thing. Okay. And the reason I want you to write all of that down is because it is going to bring up feelings. So it always does. So like I do this exercise fairly frequently, in kind of different ways. It always brings up thoughts and feelings. Okay. And that's great. So if you write down your money history, what did you go to college to study? Did you get a job in that industry? How much did you make? Did you get benefits? How much of what you are doing, like who provides the benefits in your family? Are you working for those benefits? Is somebody else working for those benefits? What are the benefits? What are all the truths around money, incoming money in your life? Okay. And then as you're doing your thought downloads on your incoming money, I want you to think about how did you or your boss or your partner arrive at that number? Okay? How did you arrive at that number? And do the best that you can. I literally just did this exercise on one of my products. And I arrived at the selling price of my product because somebody told me to sell it at that price. And I'm not going to lie, avoided having this conversation with myself for quite some time now. And the truth is that I've been trying to sell a $10,000 product, and I haven't been selling it particularly successfully. And now I get told that as a business coach, I'm not allowed to say when I'm not successful. But business, like any child, breaks your heart, and I'm okay being telling folks that. Because it's, I mean, one of the realities of my life is that I have a $10,000 product that I've sold two of. I sold two of. I have a substantially more expensive product that I've sold significantly more of. So I promise it's like my thinking and the value for that $10,000, right? And so, so the real work of incoming money today is having the conversation with yourself of the money that comes into your house. How did that number get arrived at? To whom did you speak? Okay. Who did you negotiate with to get that money to come into the house? If you are a stay-at-home parent right now, what were the negotiations around somebody else earning the money and going and getting the benefits with your staying home with the kids? Presumably you're staying home with the kids, I guess. Right? And and then here's where the real work is, okay? I want you to look at that number, okay? And this is like we start with the incoming number, however much you earn every 2 weeks or every month in your paycheck, okay? And I want you to write down, what were you thinking when that number was arrived at? Okay, what were you thinking? So you have like in a paycheck, you have lots of different numbers in your paycheck. Okay, and of all the incoming money, what is that number? Include benefits in there, because your benefits are, I assure you, as an employer, that money does go out my door and that goes into somebody's pocket. But it's really an incoming benefit for you, right? So include that kind of stuff. And I want you to sit and do a download around what you think about that number. What were you thinking then when you were having those discussions? Just write all of that down. What were the realities of your life then around that number? Okay? And see what you come up with. Just see what you come up with, and see what happens. And so, what in doing this exercise today around that number, I realized that I charged this $10,000 price because of people pleasing. Okay, and not pleasing my customers, though I do get into that too. I charged that price as a business person because I wanted to do what my coach told me to do. Now let's think about that for just a second. I am a coach. I'm a certified life coach from Brooke Castillo, and I was using a non-life coach. And I wanted to be coachable. You hear this in the coaching industry all the time. In order to get the most out of coaching, you have to be coachable, which to me is basically, as a coach, me saying I don't have to worry about doing a good job, because if I don't do a good job, it's because, quote, the other person wasn't coachable. And I was very, very worried about that. And I was working with my coach, and I was creating this program, which was by and large what I was really already offering. I just wanted to create it as like a recurring revenue stream, because that is, that's a much easier place to be doing business from. But here's what I realized, is that it was easier from my perspective. And as I say this, I'm actually really drawing the lines in my mind about where that easy came from. Okay? And that easy, we are trying to make things easy. We are trying to make things easy by avoiding pain, or we are trying to make things easy by seeking pleasure. And I think that when I set that price, I was thinking about avoiding pain. I think I was thinking about avoiding the pain of constantly having to go out and ask. When you're in business, it's like doing a salary negotiation every time you're on the phone with somebody. It's a learned and learnable skill, and I'm learning it, right? And but imagine doing salary negotiations. Like, so for those of you who get a paycheck, the what were you thinking is what happened when you were doing salary negotiations. And for the women out there is books upon books upon books about what happens to women in salary negotiations, and how if we ask for more money, we risk losing jobs entirely. And I know that fear. I absolutely know that fear. And so if that is part of your story, that you were given you took the first offer you were given in a job, write all of that stuff out, because that is a circumstance. All of our past has already happened, and the most kind thing that you can do is write down all of your past. You are not experiencing pain in your present, like who you are right now, because of things that happened in the past. You can't. You're experiencing pain right now because of what you are thinking about what happened in the past. And that's a super important distinction, especially when it comes to money. Because, taking my example, here I am. I'm thinking about this product. I'm thinking about all the things that I did to create this product because I really believe in the product. And all the things that I did, and how I set a price. And I set a price because I was avoiding pain. All right, people pleasing is almost ultimately always about avoiding pain. Because we feel like if we are nice to this person, if we do what they say, they will be nice to us and we will hurt less, or we will get money for our, like value for our money, or whatever it is that we are thinking about that. That's a very human thing doing. And it leads us to the primrose path of death and destruction, because we end up creating incoming money on lies. Because people pleasing is always lying. It's always denying your own truth to your own self. Okay? And you cannot be the person the universe is calling you to be if you're denying your own truth to your own self. Right? And I know that can be really hard. It's hard for me. It's totally hard for me. I look at the money I've made over the course of my business and where I am going, and recognizing the truth in myself that I really let other people dictate how I move in my business and what I do in my business. To me, that is like letting other people parent my children to their standards and not mine. And I would never really do that, would I? And so in the face of this coaching program, I abdicated a whole lot of responsibility. And I get that's a thought of mine. And what I am looking at is, that's what I did then. What am I going to do about it now? Okay, so if you do have those thoughts, you're looking at incoming money, and your thoughts are, I should have taken more responsibility. That gets you into a place that is very difficult, okay? Should is a terrible word, and I'm teaching you to avoid, actually, one of the whole things that we're doing is teaching you to avoid shoulding all over your life, okay? But when we look at the truth of incoming money, it's very easy to say should. I should be making more, all right? I should be, if you have money transferring into savings, as opposed to like outgoing to somebody else, I should be saving more. We were having the benefits discussion. Benefits should be cheaper. There are lots of should conversations we can be having when we take a look at our checking accounts and the money coming into our checking accounts. Write all of those thoughts down. All of those thoughts down, because it's so important for you to understand what you are thinking right now about the money that comes in. Okay, this is the part that they skip over in law of attraction and in the abundance code and all of this abundance mentality and things like that. Because what happens is that you will take a look at a number. Say you make, I don't know, say you make $5,000 a month. Okay, you have incoming $5,000 a month, right? And you want to make more. Law of attraction says the reason you're not making more is because you are not vibrating on the same energy as the money that you want to make. And so you have to increase your vibration. And you can do that. You can do that using emotional energy for a limited amount of time, but eventually you will hit a ceiling. Okay, you will absolutely hit a ceiling, whether in your vibrational energy or in the amount of energy you're willing to put out there into the universe around what you're willing to do for money. Okay. And then you start blaming yourself because these law of attraction folks, I was watching a video from a coach, and somebody was a master attractor, I think she called it, and she'd paid a lot of money, or master manifester, right? She paid a lot of money to learn how to be a master manifester, and if that works for her, that's great. No knocking master manifestors, but the manifestation of more money in your life has to start with recognizing the truth of the money as you have right now. Okay. And that truth is you're going to go through the stages of accepting reality there. A lot of us try and deny it. Like, I did this. I have this, we talked about work instead and the things that we do instead of what we say we're going to do. We talk about that on Tuesdays. One of the things that I do instead of going out and getting new clients and making new money is I do profit algebra. All right. It is very soothing to me. All right. To say if I charge this amount of money and get this many clients, I'll make this much money, and theme and variations on that. All right. I know a lot of people who spend a lot of time in their budgets trying to figure out what they need to earn to make the budget work. Okay. And I totally get that. But after about 20 minutes or so, once a month, you need to just go out and be uncomfortable and earn the money. Okay? But if you're coming from a place of should, like I should be earning more money, I don't understand why I'm not earning more money, the average salary of whatever it is that you do is this, and I'm not earning this, or I live in such an expensive place and I don't get paid, equal to the cost of living, all that sort of stuff, and you're trying to manifest more money, you can't, because you're in a place of should rather in a place of this is the reality, and this is how I arrived at my reality. And this is what I think having arrived at my reality. Okay? And doing that around all of your incoming money is an incredibly powerful exercise. And then once you have done that, okay, you can, so incoming money is really short-term assets, right? Do the same thing with your long-term assets. Savings for retirement. Now, if you have no savings for retirement, you do actually have a reality around that money. And that reality is zero. That reality is zero. That's all. If you have a reverse mortgage on your house, that reality might be negative. And I think that it's incredibly important to understand if you have a $0 amount saved for retirement, to start there. And what if it doesn't mean anything, right? Because that's really what we're getting at. What if it doesn't mean anything? And what if everything that you're supposed to learn around developing your capabilities is around developing the capability to save for retirement? What would that mean? What would that mean if you were 50 years old and right now is when you're developing the capability to save for retirement? One, it would mean you're a pretty average American, because that's true of most Americans. I think the average 50-year-old has not very much saved for retirement. Okay, good thing Gen Xers out there. There are a lot of millennials and Gen Zers behind us who are going to be able to support the system, right? But without understanding that reality of those accounts, you can't do anything to change it. And then you have to decide whether or not you want to change it. And so we're going to be talking about that in incoming episodes. So we're doing this whole matrix over the course of 6 weeks. Tell yourself the truth around your long-term assets as well. Okay, so short-term assets are your short-term checking and savings, and long-term assets are things like your house value, your car value, if you have a car. Those are, of course, diminishing. House values theoretically go up, though it's going to be an interesting selling season. And car values go down. Those sorts of assets tend to go down. And then and then other sorts of illiquid kinds of assets. How much money do you have saved for retirement? How much money do you have squirreled away somewhere? If you did have to, if you made, there's this, Susie Orman says you should have 8 months of living expenses squirreled away. Do you know what 8 months of living expenses looks like? Okay, so let's think about that for tomorrow, and we'll have that conversation tomorrow when we talk about outgoing money. All right, but we always want to talk about the positive first. Okay, and incoming money, believe it or not, is a positive. I promise you it's a positive. There are people out there who wish they could be out there making as much money as you are making. And I know that seems really hard to believe, but there are people out there who are wishing you could make as much money, they could make as much money as you are. All right, so tell yourself the truth about your incoming money, my friends, and I will see you here, same bat time, same bat channel, to talk about outgoing money tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. Bye-bye.